I came home from that school field trip and I told my mom and dad that I was gonna be a professional ski bum and live in a van down by a river. And that's what I was gonna do with the rest of my life. "20 years later, I'm still finding a way to dedicate myself in some capacity, whether it's athlete or coach, and now a dad. It's so rad how many aspects of this sport can appeal to so many different people in different stages of your life. If I could go back in time and change what has been, especially my accident, the answer is always no. But I always like to say that being in a wheelchair kind of sucks. I had the opportunity to coach a bunch of great athletes such as TJ Schiller, Riley Lebo, Joe Schuster, Josh Bibby.
I'm just stoked I got all my boys from Vernon here.
The list goes on. You know, there was a program that was built then that I had a chance to plug into and be a part of, and it was an incredible experience. We were setting up for the Canadian Junior Nationals, and I was about to demonstrate a jump to some of the kids, and I came in a little bit too hot, and things just went horribly wrong. On impact, I dislocated my back, and shortly thereafter, when I was down in the hospital, they revealed that I severed my spinal cord and I'd never walk again. A little bit of sunshine in that moment. The doctor that had revealed the prognosis came in a very unique way, and he told me that I was gonna rock the world from a wheelchair. And before I knew it, I was gonna be back in the mountains riding a sit ski with all my friends. "14 years later, I think both the doctor and I can look back with a bit of a smile on our face, and we know that the reality of having a spinal cord injury isn't easy, but I've sure covered a lot of ground, and it's with thanks to this community of people that have elevated me time and again to allow me to do the things I love. I mean, I've been able to do some pretty incredible things. For me, something clicked literally in one turn, you know, that sensation of bending the ski. And it felt like everything that I knew about skiing before my accident came back like that. At this point in my progression in sit skiing, it is my imagination, it is my spirit and the snow. And I know that sounds really funny, but I've spent so much time working on my technique and my equipment that they all dissolve. And then I just look at the terrain and I find my way down it. And sometimes I'll look back up the hill and I'll be like, I just came down there. Like, how is that even possible? I'm a guy in a wheelchair and I've been able to find a line down the mountain and do it in a way that feels fluid and effortless. When I first drove into SilverStar, I came into the village and I looked up and I'm like, really? Like, is that it? You're looking up and it doesn't really look like there's a lot of vert. But there's so many valleys and drainages because the village just sits mid-mountain. In reality, there's 5 distinctive parts of the mountain that have a huge amount of terrain, steeps, vertical. And the first time that I really got a hold of how big this resort is when I flew over. You know, I was flying home from a trip and I looked down, I'm like, is that SilverStar? Like, that's pretty big. I think in order to figure out what it is about this place, we gotta look back a little bit. And when I first started coaching here, it was the parents and the people that really drew me in. Their families started to really work together, and then their kids grew up together, and then suddenly everybody's feeding off each other, and that's community. They're sending it, and I'm like, well,
Guess you didn't learn your lesson the first time, did you?
When the boys come back, it's always a treat to ride with them because that's what they do for a living. They're at the top of their game, and they're often, right at the top of the industry. And to see the level that they ride at and just the way that they're so creative in picking their line coming down the mountain, and then just to be able to chase them around is awesome. And then they're my boys, right? They were there with me when the times were tough. And I think it means a lot for all of us to have that reconnection on snow, and to be able to share that space is always an honor. In my early years, I was a bit of a Tasmanian devil, just ricocheting off everything and trying to find something to jump off of, and a total thrill seeker. Becoming a parent, my appetite to take risks has changed totally.
Yes. No, but did you tell your teacher the 3 rules that we practice every day?
Listen, be kind, and have fun.
Listen, be kind, and have fun. That's right.
I love riding, I love sliding, and in the last couple years of all things, I've taken up Nordic. I always thought it was the goofiest sport, but I absolutely love it. It's something about the solitude, the quiet, and physically, I don't think there's a better way to get exercise. I think it's pretty easy to say that SilverStar is a world-class Nordic destination. Here at SilverStar, you're not going to find glaciers, you're not going to find craggy alpine peaks, you're not going to get above the tree line, and you're not going to get the crowds, and you're going to find good snow all the time, and pretty much everybody's got a big old smile on their face. I love the adage, we're products of our environment, and this is an incredible environment, both on the physical, the landscape, and the community.